Good Wednesday morning. 2 days before the Territorial Cup matchup against Arizona. 1 day before this guy over here is going to stuff his face with everything. Last show of the week. It's the main event. I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum. Already screwing up the intro. Sounds about right for my morning. But you know him as 17-year NFL veteran, 3-time Super Bowl champion for your Dallas Cowboys. And he's lamenting and remembering all the times he had to play on Thursdays there in Dallas. Dale Hillistrace here, everybody.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday. It's not hump day because hump day was yesterday. You got a 3-day work week. And, it's kind of funny because, for 11 years, that was our schedule. We played on Thanksgiving, and we tried all different ways to celebrate Thanksgiving, and none of them ever worked.
You did. What'd you do? You did the day before. You probably did the Friday.
We never really did the day before.
Oh, okay.
We tried the night of, but the game's at 3:00 in Dallas.
You're eating at 9 p.m.
Yes, you're eating at 9 o'clock.
The worst thing about that, dare I say that, is you come home and you get dinged up in the game and you have to do treatment or something and you're late or you get destroyed and Jimmy's yelling at you everywhere and you didn't win the turducken. And then you're grumpy. Pass me the deviled eggs.
But you know what we found out? Probably the last 3 or 4 years, we would fly home. We'd fly back here Friday morning.
Okay.
Because nobody would fly Friday morning. Everybody's done.
Yeah.
So everything was always smooth. And then we didn't have to be back till like 2:00 on Monday. So we'd fly back Monday morning.
Yeah.
Most people have already flown.
You're avoiding that rush.
Yeah, so you kind of avoid the rush, and obviously that was before 9/11, and all
we
that.
Walk to the gate and all that and everything. So it's that time of year, and of course Dale actually is going over to KUPD today because of their Play-Doh stuff and everything. I'm pretty sure
I got to judge some rock bands.
He's literally going to judge a rock band, folks. This might be the best listening
They're out.
you will have this weekend.
They're out.
Coming up here, right? So we got Lou coming up here in just a second. We'll get him on. Coach Sheehan joining me at 9 o'clock as well. Of course, talk for their championship stuff. A game this Saturday night for them against St. John's. And St. John's, doing my research on them, this is a formidable foe, which you would expect in the championship game. This is a really good opponent against us, and I'm really excited for the three-peat chance, but also see a team we don't see very often. And not only that, first time that they've been in since 2008, and they're deserving to be there, folks. This is not one of those. Every once in a while you get somebody like, they don't belong there. They got lucky with this guy. That's not the case this week. So we'll talk to Coach Sheehan about that coming up as well.
Look at you get to see ASU U of A on Friday night.
Yeah.
They moved the game for you, I heard.
Finally, my request.
And then you get to go to SCA. The game's at Mountain Point, so that's not too far for you.
Yeah, I mean, it's closer than Scottsdale or that one last year up in Glendale.
Yes.
Way better. About 35, 40 minutes for me to get over there to Ahwatukee.
Okay.
Roughly on that. But let's get it started, man. Let's get Lou in here. No UFC this week, so we just got NFL talk with Lou. They're off. 2 more UFC fights here coming up until the end of the season, and it moves over to Paramount next year. I almost said Peacock there.
Yeah.
Peacock's on my mind. I'm still angry about it. So let's get Lou on here, and let's get it started here with the man, the myth, the legend here, of course, Uncle Lou, here on this Wednesday. Before, dare I take a stab at this, Lou, and say one of your favorite holidays, Thanksgiving?
Every holiday is one of my favorite holidays. And I want to thank you guys for having me on, but I want to comment on man, myth, and legend. The legend has the rings. So which one are the two of us is what I'm trying to
do. I'm just the man. Yeah, you guys fight over the other thing. I'm just the dude, right? So
well, I'm all myth here at my house, I can tell you.
We all are, Lou.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Michael Jordan goes home and has to take out the trash.
Yeah.
Right?
Anyway, I want to wish everyone a great holiday. Those in America, this is a great holiday for us, Thanksgiving, because really sitting around talking about sports gambling, let's face it, we have a lot of blessings to count if that's really our pursuit. So want to wish everyone a great holiday. Those outside the country, I hope you have a great weekend. We'll make every attempt to make your NFL weekend as sweet as possible. And I have strong opinions with all of that, and we'll get into them in time, I'm sure.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get it started first here with important talk. You're in this temporary house. Your house is being remodeled right now. What's the setup? What's on the menu? What is all of that for tomorrow's Thanksgiving feast?
So Steve, no tease. We're going right to the jugular.
Lou, I'm not going to lie to you. This is the only reason I have you on this week. Otherwise, I would have just blown you off. But I want to know this stuff.
So that's the one thing I really have ability and some creative ability at is in a kitchen. I can cook. I'm not a chef, but I can cook. And so our Thanksgiving will be a bird with dressing. And for me, mashed potatoes, dressing, gravy, and some white meat. And you call it a game, but we'll have all of that. I'll also have some yams that the recipe came from my first wife's mother. And holy moly, will these yams knock the boots right off you. Really, really good. And then there's, in recent evolutions, my son and my wife like a green bean casserole, so I'm going to whip that up as well. Because I'm in a new kitchen and one that's fairly well equipped, the good news is I'm really fortunate. My wife runs this Roberts Resort here in Phoenix, and they have a full commercial kitchen with ovens and walk-in coolers, et cetera, et cetera. So my bird's over there. I'm getting it today to prep it, and I can use a couple ovens for like the casserole and the yams in order to get everything to the table hot. The most difficult meal of all, in my simple opinion, is for the chef or the cook to put all of Thanksgiving together at once so everybody can sit and eat. Any other meal other than that is way easier, and that's why I'll only do it once a year, and I wouldn't even do it then, but my wife and her mom want Thanksgiving traditional, and that's what they're going to get.
That's awesome, because I've been on my my wife's email thread with both our daughters, their husbands, my brother, his daughters, and who's cooking what, and how many ovens do you need, and our next door neighbor is going to allow us to use the third oven, and I was like, wow,
you guys stress me
to
out,
try
man.
and time all this stuff together. You're right, it's really difficult.
You guys stress me out with all this talk.
Well, then you got gravy. So, now, the gravy has to, if you're using roux, you got to stir the drippings in, and, it's like the guy, juggling with the plate on his nose kind of thing.
So,
but it's fun and it's rewarding. And after all that prep, demolition 45 minutes later.
Yeah, it's like 10 minutes later, it's like everything's done. And what? Now, hey, the one question I want to ask you is, what time is your meal? Do you work it around the Lions game or the Cowboys game, or football doesn't matter to you tomorrow?
At my house, the ladies say jump and I say how high. And so we're going to eat about 2, okay, which is fine, because really today I'm going to prep a lot. I'm totally into the advanced stages. So the casserole and the yams will be boiled off. They'll be prepped. They'll be ready to go into ovens. That's done. So really between mashing potatoes while the turkey gets pulled out and having somebody go get those oven items, I should be in pretty good shape. And it probably helps me. Last year at the house, of course, I have the smoker, so I can have stuff out in the smoker or keep the bird in the smoker while I'm doing other stuff. So it is coordination, but it's really great. It's an opportunity, again, a lot of family and friends together giving thanks. We need to do more of that in this country instead of trying to find how many differences we have.
Tell me this real quick, and by the way, I concur with you wholeheartedly there. are you a guy that gets stressed at this time when everything's trying to come together? Like my wife, sweet as the day is long, but it tends to be like the last hour as you're trying to time everything up. The stress level tends to go up a little bit.
Meaner than a mountain lion. No, that's why I do it, because I've been around this. I've always done. I'm the oldest of 8, and so growing up, we always had family dinner. I was the person setting the table and helping my mom, so it kind of comes natural. And I really love doing it. And now that I know I'm doing it, I have it all organized and set. And as long as I can stay relatively close to schedule, I have it, systematically paced, that will be in great shape. The good news is that you really want to let that bird sit for 20 to 30 minutes after you take it out of an oven, so that it will hold its juice. And while you're doing that, that's when I'm at my busiest, but I'll be able to deliver and it'll be great.
Well, okay, how much leftovers do you have when you get done? That's the big question, because people are like, I eat leftovers for a week. And to me, it's like, well, you didn't eat enough on Thanksgiving.
Well, I have 4 people. We only have a 12-pound bird. So more than likely, what leftovers there will go with my 29-year-old back to his apartment with him at the end of the. So I'll be able to clean most everything out for some time. So I have a physical in a couple of months. So about a week or so, 10 days ago, I went on just a protein and vegetable diet. So I'm going to have a little dressing and a little mashed potatoes on Thanksgiving, but it won't be the normal piece that it has to be. It'll take me 2 months to get my weight down, get my blood pressure set, and get in front of that doctor, and the doctor will tell me how great I'm doing and everything, and then I'll go spend the next 10 months getting ready again.
That's kind of like when you have the dentist appointment the week before you start flossing, making sure that
You know what? They turned me onto a water pick about 4 years ago because I'm on my 3rd one.
Yeah.
Holy moly. I'm tired. I want to go to bed. And I think, you know what? My mouth feels okay. And then I run that thing, and it looks like the New York sewer system. It's like, holy cow. So I'll tell you what, I'm no advertising guy, but if you've never tried a water pick, I haven't had a cavity since I started using it. It's just been unbelievable.
It's just amazing. When I was a kid, I'm going to out myself here, and somebody's going to catch on and make fun of me. But when I was a kid, my mom used to make us clean the house before the cleaning lady would come by. So same type of a concept there. And I always just laugh on that. And
we don't want to see it so messy.
Yeah, we don't want to know how we live for real. So when they come over, they're just kind of. So I'm still that way today. So I always do that too. So it makes me laugh. Who does the dishes in the house, Lou, after all of that cooking and everything?
A lot of times my wife will jump, and my wife and her will try and jump to do that. But usually, once we're eating and everything, you can see when I'll get my son and I will get the plates for sure. And then I'll usually be able to hang by the sink and do most of that and get the heavy work done. They'll just throw everything with freaking, clusters of stuff on the plates right in the dishwasher. I get the plates so that you can almost eat it right off of them again. Then I put it.
Yeah, I do the same thing.
Sterilize.
People make fun of me. Like I clean them like spotless before I put them in the dishwasher. Like my opinion is the dishwasher polishes them and makes them cleaner. But everybody makes fun of me about that.
Well, you two are very weird, so we can accept that. What's for dessert, Lou?
What are you, Mike Wallace over here?
Hey, he's looking for an invite. Is what he's doing. He's trying to figure out which place he wants to go to.
How far do you live out there?
Well, I'll tell you what. You'll stop right now because I was in the pie aisle and I thought to myself, now wait a minute. I mean, everything the pie, you got to think about it, but I'm always too full to think about eating it, so I didn't get a dessert. I don't have one planned. That said, I'm certain that my mother-in-law, when she comes out with my son, they'll probably have something because They let it, I get mad at her for bringing stuff over to the house because she doesn't need to do that, but she probably will. And she don't listen to me. At 90, she can do what she wants, and she does.
Well, she ain't gonna let you. She ain't gonna. Regardless, you're right. She's gonna do what she wants. You don't care what you have to say. At 90, she's like, I don't care anymore on that side. Right. So that's. Did you catch earlier, by the way, Lou, that Dale said he's seeing the emails and the texts between his family, his wife and his daughters and the husbands? Did you notice that? Did you catch that Dale's not involved in those texts or emails at all for his meals?
It seemed consistent with his deep wisdom. That's like stepping into a bear trap or a quicksand.
Lou, I've been married.
That's the last place that you want to be.
I've been married 37 years. I know where my place is. I'll help clean up when everything's done, and I'll enjoy the meal. So tell me when to be there, what time we're eating, and I'm good to go.
The big question on Dale, are you golfing Thursday morning to stay out of the house until
I am not golfing Thursday morning. But because it's still
watch football.
It's still Carpath only, Lou. It's still Carpath only.
Yeah, that's the only reason.
Yeah.
Why is that? Seed?
Yeah, they overseed. So I think they open up on Monday to medical exemptions. You can drive that. I'm a medical exemption, so
well, then all the rain, I'm sure, on top of it is just.
I got your medical.
Yeah, Dale doesn't want to wake up and watch Packers Lions. He'd rather go golfing, I think.
Finally, the Lions game it's worth watching. When all through the '90s, we played the late game, and that first Detroit game was always just a piece of junk, and now it's kind of worthwhile watching.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And it's a division game on top of it. You got Packer Lion hatred that goes back generations, and they're both decent, both skilled, balanced teams, good defenses. Everybody wants to find fault. Oh, Detroit, they've lost their last two. Oh, Green Bay, the quarterback doesn't look emotional and fired up. He looks too mainline.
Lou's been watching the show, Dale.
That's all a bunch of hocus pocus to me. I think those first two games are both compelling football games.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, 7. Well, I call them both 7 and 4, even though the Packers are technically 7, 3 and 1. Before we get into football, Lou, really quick, just tell everybody Gamblu.com. Of course, it's the season of giving and stuff like that as well. So please tell everybody what you do and you support there with Gamblu.com as well, and inform everybody on that.
The webpage is Gamblu.com. That's where you can research me or get a hold of me should you choose to. Hopefully it's to thank me. Many do. But if there's criticism, I'll surely shoulder it. Normally, if there's criticism coming, you'll hear it from me. This week's blog is just a little warning about how to address the next 5-6 days of sitting around and being home all day and betting ball games. I think there's a way to plan what you want to do and stick to it. But most importantly, especially at Thanksgiving time, the San Xavier mission, it is a charitable cause that Gamblu has undertaken. And it just so happens that there's a button on the top of the webpage far right that Kobe was just good enough to hit. And the mission is the oldest mission in the country, located south of Tucson, Arizona, just a couple hours south of Phoenix. And they're doing great work there. At Thanksgiving time, I'd encourage everybody to check them out. There's a direct link to the mission right there that's flashing. If you hit that, you can go there and research and check it out. Steve allows me to bring attention to the mission each week, and I thank him for that. It's really appreciated.
Yeah, and I want to be clear. It's not just because of the time of year we're in. You focus on them year-round as well, obviously. So it's not just because of the time of year it is out there. So what you're saying is don't bet on every game. Don't lose all of your money on Thursday with those 3 games. Spread it out a little bit.
And then double down on Friday yes. And then chase on Saturday and then go after it on Sunday.
Well, listen, if you're approaching it like a guy that golfs, hey, listen, it costs money to take the cart, to buy the clubs, to be in the club. If you got a boat, it costs money to insure it. You got to put gas in it. You got to bring sandwiches and cold drinks out there when you go use it. And if you're going to approach it like that, then you can do whatever you want. But if really at the end of the day you're doing it and you want to try and make some money, then I think you need to plan, because just going day by day with the menu of hundreds of bets each day across every single sport, you can get really in trouble early. And then it's the how do you dig out? And by the end of the week, there's a lot of people that don't often bet 3, 4, 5 days in a row, and they can get blinded by what the numbers can do to you. If you don't think it can happen, trust me, it can, because it does every year, especially on this weekend. And for that reason, I start my week Monday Night Football, and I begin to handicap the week in the NFL, which is all I'll bet, and I'll only have 4 to 6 bets all weekend long. That it'll be from Monday night loaded back into the NFL with maybe 1 or 2 tomorrow, 1 or 2 positions like in a teaser or something like that, because I want to really plan my work and then work my plan, because I think by the end of the week, if you have certain numbers, say for instance, you took the Patriots on Monday Night Football in a 10-point teaser, well, you're not giving 8.5. Now you're getting 2.5. Okay, let me take that back. You're not given 1.5. You're getting 2.5. Now I'm all right.
Yeah, get it all up. Yes,
it's 8.5 and 1.5. That makes 10. So you're not given 8.5 with the Patriots on Monday Night Football at home. You're getting 1.5, and so you just need the Patriots to win. Now, by the time that comes, those people that have bet Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they're hypnotized, and they're not betting the team the Patriots are playing, the Giants. They're not betting the Giants. They're going to be betting the Patriots. What's going to happen to the Patriot number? It's going to go up more, and so now I'll have options to either hold my advantage with 10 points in pocket if I hit the first 2 legs of the teaser and can get there, and then I can play into it should I choose. If I think if the quarterback for New England, May, goes down, they got to play the second string guy, the line drops. Now I can play to the other side and try and get a middle. It's called arbitrage betting. I do it a lot, but suffice it to say, they're working backwards is really how I like to do it, because I want to take advantage of what happens to the NFL board Saturday night after Friday, Saturday college football games.
You just made my head hurt. But before we get into the NFL,
sorry,
you got the Territorial Cup. Any interest this year? Is it fun for you to watch 2 actually good teams go at it? Is it a different day of the football season for you, or do you not really care?
Years ago, it didn't mean as much as it does recently, because I don't carry any form. I really have such an admiration for the staff currently at ASU, and I like that team so well. I like the coaching staff. I know a couple of the guys, and so I find myself to some extent torn. But make no mistake about it, I went to the U of A, so I will want the U of A, but it's lined pretty close. U of A is like 1.5. Or what's the line in the game?
I'm gonna look it up right now. I looked it up yesterday. It was still 1.5. I'm sorry, it flipped to ASU favored 1.5 is what it had flipped to. Arizona opened 1.5 favorites, and it flipped pretty quickly. I'll look that up while you talk here, Lou. Get the current number.
So,
by the way, it's back on FanDuel. It's back to Arizona favored 1.5 today. So it's flipped. It's flipped back and forth.
So here's my tactic on the game completely. I haven't done this yet, but as soon as this is over, I'm going to do it, because I'm going to watch that game, and I'm going to do something I never do. I'm just going to make a recreational bet, because I think I have an angle here, and here's my angle. I'm going to use a teaser. I love these 10-point teasers. I use them an awful lot. I'm going to use that one leg. The first leg will be in that game, and it's going to be to take ASU up to 11.5 at home. Number one, I like it. I think that's a winning bet. And number two, if I lose, I'll be tickled, because that means the Cats are boat raced them. So that's a no-lose leg for me. I don't often do that, but every year in the Territorial Cup, I may.
Hey, you got to have some fun, but I mean, I think that's telling. Like I said, Arizona opened up favorites. It switched to Arizona State, back to Arizona. That means there's some movement here on this line, and it's kind of interesting.
That means
to see
nobody knows.
Yeah.
But tell me this, Lou. You played in Territorial Cup or two. What was your record against ASU?
No, I went to the U of A and never made a full year.
I thought you got a scholarship
I was offered a scholarship
to ASU.
to Iowa, ASU, and U of A.
And-
I accepted the Iowa scholarship, had to have a knee operation after track my senior year. And then the schools pulled back the scholarships. And I thought, well, I'm not going to a winter school if I'm going to go to school and not play.
Oh.
So I decided to go to Arizona. And when I got there, it's like, hey, it's early August. I got to play football. So I walked on. They knew me. Tough Tony Mason was the coach. He recruited me. He was like, he had to figure, great, I get you for free. But I didn't last long. Between college football, and back then it was still took a lot of time. Don't get me wrong. And fraternity rush, I found out within about 6 weeks which way I was going. And I was fraternity rush.
Exactly.
That's the truth. I didn't have the proper maturity to be a college football player. That's just the simple truth.
Okay. And what fraternity did you pledge?
I went to hit the U of A, the Sigma Nu fraternity, a place that changed my life forever.
For better or for worse?
It changed in every positive
Good
way. My eyes were a little dude from Omaha. I drove down with a gal that was in a sorority from Omaha. It's the only person I knew. She dropped me off at this front door. She said, well, get your crap out and go in there. I said, well, then what do I do? She says, you'll figure it out. and that's what happened. I can't tell you. It was the greatest move I ever could have made.
Awesome.
How I did it, I don't know.
Hey, Lou, before we take our break here, Dale's got to take off here to head over to his radio hit over there today. But since he's here, I want to ask about Chiefs Cowboys. And obviously, former Dallas Cowboy player here. Chiefs alive as well. Should we be as high as Dale has been the last couple of weeks on the Cowboys? He's picked them against the Eagles and things to that effect. Right now, Chiefs are 3.5-point favorites here going into Dallas. Obviously, short week for both these teams. Off an emotional win over the Colts last Sunday and overtime. I think it ended up going to the Chiefs number 3.5 kind of surprises me. What's the number saying?
Yeah, the Chiefs opened. The look ahead was 3.5. It's 3.5 now, but even at your FanDuel or DraftKings, it's reduced juice, making it easier.
Plus 100
across the Las Vegas boards. It's 3 minus 115, minus 110, of course, at the South Point because they don't jump the minus 110. So you've got what you got is a little bit of pressure on Dallas. There's a little bit of belief in Dallas as far as betting splits are concerned. If I go to Circa on the betting splits, 44% of the tickets are on the Cowboys. So the Chiefs are getting more tickets, okay? But 79% of the money is on the Cowboys. That means bigger bets are betting the Pokes. And I can see kind of why, in my opinion, when you look for spots, this is a terrible spot for Dallas because this is their third game in 10 days. It's the only team that has one of these this year, and it's Dallas, and this is the week. So this is the week where I think, especially off a huge emotional win last week, now they roll into Thanksgiving 4 days later at home. It's a dangerous, dangerous spot for them. But the pressure has gone from 3.5 to 3, so Dallas is getting some love. At the end of the day, though, when I handicap football, this is also a tough spot for the Chiefs. And I say that because I've been more than critical on Dallas all year long, especially the defensive front seven. But this trade after 2 games, and I'm not saying that's a season breaker, but after 2 games, the improvements on defense have been noticeable, and that it could be considered an understatement. So I have to respect that. And then on top of that, when you take a team full of guys that are world-class athletes and they begin to believe, you got a dangerous group of dudes. And I don't know if you're going to catch Dallas at any more dangerous position than, despite the 3 and 10 days, than this Thanksgiving Day. And so I think it's a tough spot for Kansas City too. Game I'm fascinated in, and a game I did use in one of my teasers, and I used it immediately on Sunday under 52. And so I took 52 down to 42 and a half and 42 and went over. Well, I believe there's going to be points.
And let me tell you, Lou, what most fascinating to me is I played in 11 of these when I was in Dallas. I think all 11, we were on the road the Sunday before Thanksgiving. And this particular year, they were at home on Sunday, and now they're at home on Thursday, which I think has got to give you some type of advantage.
Well, any team that's home Sunday that is home Thursday that has to take a team that's on that's given.
Right.
What tarnishes it to a degree is 3 and 10. Dale, the NFL body, those guys, one hit, they a full game. Now this is their 3rd game in 10 days, and that, not only that, next week will be their 4th game in 17. You do the math, that's like what, 3.9 days off in between games. That's hard to maintain a level at that amount of rest, in my opinion. And so that's what makes me torn on the game. At the end of the day, I tend to let that betting split talk, and that the bigger bets are on Dallas, and I'm going to get Dallas at home, +3 or 3.5. I'm not sure how I'm going to attack it yet, if I even do, because I believe there's going to be more than 42 points scored in the game.
Yeah, and the line, by the way, you said the line.
I'm going to be watching.
You said the line opened at 52. I think you said earlier in the week, 52.5 or something, because it's at 52.5 now as well. Because I agree with you. I tend to think there's going to be a lot of points scored in this game coming up here. We might see 2 teams in the 30s here, on 30s, with just a tired defense as these games go on both sides.
Well, open 49.
Okay, so everybody's on that board then. If it's 52.5 on FanDuel, so everybody's on the board that they're going to score a lot. Yeah.
And if you're betting Thanksgiving totals on Monday, it's probably not the first bet you're
making. Hey, Lou, Dale's got to take off here, so we'll take our break here. Come on back. It'll be me and you. We'll get through the other Thanksgiving games as well. Just a heads up, Flash Gordon, I see you on the text line. I'll get to that here later on in the show when Lou's done. And Lou, you have an issue here, and this is your problem. I'm stepping out of this. I'll tell you about this on the text line next as well.
Wow.
As well.
Happy Thanksgiving, Lou.
You too, Dale, for sure.
Come on back, guys. Dale, have a good Thanksgiving. We'll see you on Monday. Everybody else, come back. Join me and Lou here for the rest of the hour. And then, of course, Mike Sheehan at 9 o'clock as well. Come on back, folks. And we're back here. Main events, of course, Dale's taking off today. He's got to go judge some rock things over there at KUPD. Is committed to that, so he's gone for the day. But Lou's sticking around here as we get through. No UFC this week, and there's 2 UFC fights here left on the card for this year before it switches over to Paramount next year as well. So some big changes coming up on that side. But Autumn, my significant other here, Lou, texted in and said, I've never had a reason to be upset at Lou, but gatekeeping that Riam recipe might get me there. So you're on your own on this one, Lou.
What does that mean? Sharing it?
No, not sharing it. Yeah, keeping it to yourself because it's an old world recipe, right? Your wife's, your first wife's mom had the recipe and stuff. I don't expect you to do it over the air, but she's having fun with you on that. She's at home probably preparing for her family Thanksgiving feast yesterday, so it's probably on the top of her mind right now. So
I'll tell you, it's a huge hit, and the reason I think it's only professional to cite who the recipe came from. Because I never knew, sweet potatoes, something you put a little butter on and eat like a baked potato. To me, I never had them like this. And let me tell you, this thing here, it's like heroin, man.
That's the amazing thing. Like when you get out of your family circle, right, as you get older, right, and you start getting married and having a significant other, and you get into those other, just amazing how people eat Thanksgiving dinners so differently. With everything they prepare and all that stuff. It's amazing, the recipes, and it really is just a giant eye-opener, right?
Without question, especially the ethnicity. I'm Sicilian, so we have the antipasti. We always found a way to suppository some Italian food into any holiday. Thanksgiving, probably the least, although you end up getting stuffed up on manicotti and some other antipasti early before you go to the... But it's the cultures and the ethnicities, and that's what makes to me, that's what makes Thanksgiving awesome. And I love the blending of stuff because my first wife's family, they were German, and so everything was food-wise was German food they got no taste, man. Everything's the same color. There ain't anything red in German food anywhere. Being a Mexican Italian guy, it was hard for me.
Yeah.
And so, but the clash was a learning experience, and in many ways opened my perspectives because there was some great food that they did serve that I loved.
So I'm getting all hungry over here now, So
yes,
I'm gonna have to get out of here today and go grab some good food today. But let's get into those Thursday games again. We're gonna cover, and don't forget, there's a Friday game as well again this year, and that'll be the Bears and Eagles coming up. But we just talked Chiefs Cowboys before that break there. Now we got Packers Lions. Will be the first game, 11 a.m. our time here in Phoenix tomorrow as well. This game is intriguing. Both teams are, I call the Packers 7-4 because saying 7-3-1 is annoying to me with the tie, right? But they are 7-3-1. They do play down to their competition. Lions have had some struggles lately as well. I am super high on, Montgomery and Gibbs as a running game there on that offense on the Lions. Their defense worries me a little bit, to be honest with you. And then the Packers offense worries me a little bit as well coming to this game. Lions at home are 2.5-point favorites. Over under on this game's 49.5. I don't know. I lean under on this one, Lou, just because Thanksgiving morning, and both these teams have a lot to prove. Am I thinking wrong here on this over under?
I don't think so. Actually, I think you're kind of spot on. When I look at this game with my DVOA. Green Bay 8 on offense, 9 on defense. Not only are they good on both sides of the ball, but they're solid and they're balanced. So it's not just we have a great offense, can't stop a sneeze. Detroit same thing, 7-6. What I see is a good old fashioned 1968 slog. And now it's going to be indoors and clean and sterile, but it's going to be what I believe to be a game that looks like 18-15 kind of thing. And it's going to be ugly. I believe it's going to be low scoring. All of the Thanksgiving lines on the totals are high and they've gone up.
Especially the third one. The third one we'll talk about in a minute. Yeah.
Makes me a little bit nervous about all of that. Those numbers are high. Dallas and Kansas City, I can see just because Dallas D, but this one here opens 47.5, now 49.5. I think that's too much. And I would lean to an under here, and I kind of lean to Green Bay maybe a little bit here because this number is 3. And we've seen it. I think you can see some 2.5s now. Is that correct?
FanDuel's 2.5 right now. FanDuel's 2.5 minus 118 for the Lions. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's toggling there. So they're seeing a little Detroit money here, and and how about the fans of Detroit that every year would attend this game?
Yeah.
And they'd go there with just Barry Sanders, and they'd get smashed. Now they have a good team the last few years.
Yeah.
I'm tickled for Detroit. I'm tickled for football fans because that's going to be a great divisional game. If you like 51-48, you're not going to like this game.
Yeah.
But I like 18-15, and I'm going to love this game.
And I mean, when was the last time we said both of these teams kind of need to win this game to just keep pace with the Bears, depending on what they do on Friday, right? When was the last time we said that in that division, right? So
long time, and the bottom line is this: 17 games, they all mean a lot. Can't give nothing away.
Yeah, and it's an interesting, I'm torn on my pick on this game. It's one of our picks here that me and Dale do for the show. I have his picks here, but I just don't. I go back and forth on this game. Lions at home, but they've shown some issues. I am not sold on Jordan Love as a quarterback. He can make some mistakes, but I love that Packers defense. So I don't know. I have to think long and hard on that game, which you got to give the NFL a lot of props because a lot of times in the past, these Thanksgiving games were blowouts or boring type of games. At least on paper, they put some good matchups together, including the night game here, 6:21 p.m. Kickoff for that. Bengals-Ravens. And the only reason I say this is good because people go, Steve, the Bengals suck. What are you talking about? Joe Burrow's back. Doesn't that give you interest to watch this game? And I'm willing to bet you, without knowing the answer to this total's gone up because Joe Burrow's here as well. But the Ravens are favored by 7. Has that number changed at all since Joe Burrow has officially been announced he's playing this weekend?
11.5.
Oh, so that's a big jump. Okay. Is he worth 4 points?
They're saying Burrow's 4.5 points to the line. Okay, that's probably close. The total went from 49.5, 51.5. I get that part too. That's logical that the better quarterback. But T. Higgins is gone. Well, they still got the other guy.
Ja'Marr Chase is back.
Here's the offense changing continuity. Now they got different receiver as the main guy this week than from last week with a different quarterback. So, and not only that, I think Burrow's the cat's meow. But in week 1 at NFL pace and speed, no.
I agree with
I don't
that.
care who you are. You might need a week, and Burrow going to need a week.
Yeah.
And I'm not so convinced this isn't a great opportunity on Baltimore. A division game.
Mm-hmm.
They're at home. They were given 11.5. Now it's 7. Let's wait and see if it gets down. Even at 7, what I would do, I'd look to tease Baltimore down to pick, tease them down to 1. I'd look to maybe wait if you want to play straight and see if you can get to 6.5. But I think there's nothing that can take the place of the fact that Cincinnati's defense, 30th ranked against the run, 32nd against the pass,
terrible.
32nd overall facing the Baltimore offense. It's just starting to come back and find itself.
And they have some injuries on that Bengals defense as well. That doesn't mean they're going to get better going into this game. What are the Ravens defense ranked at nowadays? Because it was terrible to begin the season. I know they've gotten a little bit better, but what are your DVOA numbers on the Ravens these days?
20. Okay. Oh, excuse me. Yes, the Ravens D is 20. And they'll be facing a Cincinnati offense that's 5th rushing. That's what Cincinnati has been doing well. They're actually 22nd against the pass. The issue is Baltimore's pass defense is where Cincinnati wants to go. It's 21 ranked because their rush defense 15, and it matches up well against Cincinnati's offense. I think what you're going to have here is a tough slog early, but I see Baltimore pulling away based on the aptitude of the Baltimore offense against the inaptitude of the Cincinnati defense.
Yeah, and I agree with you. Joe Burrow might come back and be, the quarterback we expect him, but first game back on a Thursday. I know he didn't play last week and things to that effect.
He hadn't played for 3 months.
It worries you a little bit, right? Maybe not initially, but as the game goes on, there might be some rust and some, fatigue or whatever you want to call it coming in on that as well. So
I don't see fatigue, but I definitely see an adjustment to the speed of the game, and you don't just get that in 2 series.
Exactly, right? Then you got the big game on Friday, right? Your Chicago Bears against the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles had a 21-point lead going up against Dallas there and was dominating that game. Dallas scored 21 unanswered, forces the overtime. Dallas ends up winning that game. Last week, Eagles go back home here and play the Bears, right, who are leading that division right now and have all sorts of confidence coming into this game. Right now, the Eagles are 7-point favorites coming to the game, and the Eagles' run offense is terrible this year, of course, coming to that effect. Over-under in this game is 44.5. Even at 44.5, I kind of lean toward the under in this game with what both of these offenses can do unless the Bears can light it up. But 7-point favorites for the Eagles kind of raises my eyebrows a little bit that might be a little bit too high. Am I wrong?
Okay. The bad spot for the game is that Philly is off a Sunday night game.
Mm-hmm.
And so not only that, it was on the road, but now they come home, take on a hot Chicago team. Total open 45s, tick down just a touch.
44.5.
I will say, where is it?
44.5 on FanDuel. Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you that at this time tomorrow, or by Saturday, 3 p.m., this total is going to be 42 because there is going to be tremendous wind in Philly on game day.
On Friday?
I've already bet this under, and that's why this is good. We're on Wednesday because now listeners are getting information that I'm telling you to stop what you're doing right now and take the under right now because not only is it over the key number 44, you get the half point. But like I say, I firmly believe that we're just ahead of. I look at weather Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, not Thursday, Friday, Saturday when the rest do. So that's my hot take here on that game. I think you're gonna have offenses that are going to be bogged down because they're not going to be able to play a circus game by throwing the ball all over the field. It's going to be a more conservative game. Overall, I had Philly against Dallas last week, so to think that I can come back and think they're in a good position this week, again, Bears have momentum and belief, and Philly just trying to win a game. If they win by 1, they walk off the field tickled and move on to the next one. So my position on that game is all over the under.
I didn't even know about the weather, and I instinctively was thinking the under on that as well. The Eagles' offense and their rush offense, you have the stats on this, and you track this stuff. But the Eagles' rush offense has not been good. A big weather game where they're not going to be able to pass it as easily, et cetera, worries me a little bit about the Eagles on that side. Would I be looking at that incorrectly?
I think that they're going to be passing. It's just going to not be passing to wide receivers and slot guys. I think you're going to see to the back and to the tight end, shorter, more controlled passing should you have passing. I mean, Philadelphia's got the 8th ranked passing offense, 20th ranked rush offense, and that's even now hurt because of the loss of Lane Johnson. Yeah. So the good news is for Philly, they're going up against the Bears defense. It's 27th against the run. That's a bunch of dudes that just, I don't know that they, to me, that if you're 27, 28, 29, 32 against the run in your defensive line, then you really need to improve. You got no toughness and grit there. And I'll accuse the Bears of that. And they were that way last year. They just haven't apparently gotten around to fixing that. Philly should be the favorite here. But Chicago has the greatest turnover ratio in the NFL, and if that keeps up, they'll keep winning.
I don't even think it's close, right? They're well ahead of it. I think they were at 14. I don't know what they did over the weekend here. But
They
I
were
mean,
12, and
is it
yeah,
12?
they were 12,
Yeah.
and now they're higher. So
Yes.
they believe me.
Lead it on that side, right? Hey, Lou, we're running out of time here, so I want to get one more game in definitely, and then I'll throw it to you on kind of any final thoughts. But obviously, the local team, the Cardinals, Buccaneers, go to Tampa Bay this weekend. Baker Mayfield has an AC joint injury, which, if you don't know, is very painful, but it's not on his throwing arm. It's on his non-throwing arm here. He's kind of an unknown to play this weekend coming up for the Buccaneers, who need a win in the worst possible fashion in that division at 6-5 now. And the Cardinals are traveling across the country here at 3-8, been losing, just lost another late game. Controversy around their play calls, at least from my circles that I travel in and I talk about. Buccaneers 3 points favorites, over under 44.5 coming into this game. With the unknown of Baker Mayfield, is there anything to possibly get out of this game early here in this week, or is it just wait and find out what Baker's doing?
Yeah, no question. You got, and I'll tell you right now, he's going. So the dude's a warrior. He's a linebacker dressed in quarterback clothing. I'm saying he's going to go, and if he does go, that line is going to go back to 6.5, which is where it was before he hurt his shoulder. So the look ahead was 6.5. Now it's 3. So they're saying the difference between he and Teddy is 3.5 points. Teddy Bridgewater, the backup in Tampa. Tampa it relies on the grit of Baker Mayfield, but they're complete as a football team. So Teddy fits just fine right there. And if I'm a gambling man, and I may look to try and take advantage of that Tampa 3 right now, because in my mind, there's nothing keeping Baker Mayfield out of that game.
And it's that was my main question on that, is because I agree with you. I think Baker's gonna play. It's an off shoulder. Only way he doesn't, I think, is if the team decides, hey, we need you. We can win this game against Arizona without you. So we're gonna rest you, so we're ready for you at the end. And I don't know if the Buccaneers are in a position to do that right now. So, hey, Lou, as we wrap up this hour with you here this week, I appreciate you coming in on Wednesday, but I'm going to leave it open to you. You still got Bills Steelers on the schedule this week. Vikings Seahawks. I don't know if why there would be any interest in that with a undrafted rookie possibly starting for the Vikings, but I'm going to kind of leave it to you on, is there a game you're looking at this week that we haven't talked about and something you'd like to discuss?
Well, anyone that's regular listener here knows how vested we are in Buffalo and that under this year. But one must compartmentalize, because week to week looking for my advantage may force me to come into conflict with another bet that I may have. And for the newer bettors, that's hard to do. But for an old gristled dude like me, it's easy to do. And so when I look at this Buffalo game, I tend to like it, and I tend to like it because I have where is that game?
It is Sunday at 2:25.
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Buffalo enters on a 10-day stint, so they've had 10 days off.
And Aaron Rodgers.
Pittsburgh lost their last game. They're going to get Rodgers back. I don't know that necessarily helps them. The number was 3.5. Look ahead, it's still 3.5. Boy, it seems like they're making Pittsburgh look really like a darling, and I'm not so sure that they are. Buffalo off a loss, and now 10 days. Could be in an angry mood. Let's watch that one. If it gets to 3, Buffalo's a bye. And even at 3.5, they may be used in a 7-point teaser, where I would take Buffalo from giving 3.5, and I'd move them across the 0 to getting 3.5. And use them with another team.
Over under on that game's 47.5. I don't know what the weather's going to be there in Pittsburgh, but this time of year it's little bit cold. Sometimes the wind comes in. Precipitation can be out there. I know that doesn't affect the Bills at all, but does that affect the over under 47.5 coming in this game? And I don't know what the opening number was. So
the opening total was like 47.5.
Okay, so it's still there.
And as far as weather is concerned, the game being in Pittsburgh, you've got decent wind. It isn't quite the same wind that you're going to see Friday, a few days earlier in Baltimore, but 12-mile-an-hour scheduled. If I see 16 or higher, that's when, because then you look to the specific city and you see the gusts are 35, 40. That's what you want to see. If it's raining, no wind, no problem. If it's cold, no wind, no problem. It's wind, and wind is what I look for.
Yeah, exactly. So on that perspective, so I mean, with the Thursday games, I'm looking forward to them. They're built up. Even the Friday game, the Bears game, I'm looking forward to. And then there's just not a lot of Sunday games where I'm like getting excited about, right? A lot of mismatch, at least perceived mismatches on paper, and things to that effect. So it'll be an interesting NFL weekend, Lou, and everything. So I appreciate you coming and joining me on Wednesday this week. Beforehand, of course, you get off of UFC, but now you've got the turkey duty and all of that stuff, which sounds like it's more exciting and more stressful than the UFC stuff is.
Two things. Before I leave. One, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. Number two, keep up the great work, Coach Sheehan. I see you on deck there. Have a great Thanksgiving, Coach.
Yeah, he's coming up. Championship game playing St. John's up there from Northern Arizona, and
go get them, baby.
And they're a good team, man. So it's going to be a fun weekend up here, and I'm looking forward to getting out there as well for that 3 p.m. kickoff on Saturday as well after that ASU U of A Territorial Cup, man, right? And that's 2 8-3 teams. I don't think Arizona's as good as Arizona State is right now, but they are confident. They have a lot of talent on that team, and I think Arizona does have a chance to win this game, which makes this game exciting coming into it as well. So it's going to be a fun weekend.
Gee, thanks. Arizona has it. They're favored. They have a chance. They're damn right they have a chance to win this game.
That's just people in Tucson throwing money down, hoping that it can help them out, right? But in all seriousness, I appreciate it.
Side bet, Steve. All right, I'm closing out so you guys get to the coach.
You got it, man. We'll talk to you next week and everything. Have a great holiday weekend. All right, for everybody else, Coach Sheehan's coming up next here. So come on back here, second hour main event. Coach Sheehan, we'll finish up. I'll go long. We'll do the picks. I'll be here as long as we need to be here today, folks. We're busy getting all 5 days into 3. We're going to accomplish it. Let's come on back. And we're back here at the main event. Of course, I'm your humble host, Stephen McCollum, and Dale took off early today. He had to go over and judge some rock and roll radio, which he was super excited about. If you know anything about Dale, he's a country guy out there. So we had to go do that, but I finished up with Lou, and of course, we get a bird's eye view coming up here with Mike Sheehan as well. He's ready to go. He's got a championship game, third in a row, coming up this weekend with the Scottsdale Christian Academy Eagles. Let's get into it with the bird's eye view. Last time I saw Coach, he was drenched. He was wet everywhere, and it was a cold night out there at ALA North Mesa. Coach, how you doing, man?
Good. How are you today, Steve?
Doing good. Well, we got to get the important things out of the way first. What's your Thanksgiving plans? What's the deal around the Coach Sheehan's house there?
Just well, tomorrow's actually my birthday.
Oh,
So Thanksgiving is double with my birthday this year. So I think the kids and my wife have some stuff planned for us, but just easy, chill dinner, and then we'll practice in the morning.
okay.
Obviously, I think they have some birthday stuff planned for me midday. We'll have dinner, and then I think birthday stuff later on. But nothing too crazy. Just a day to get ready for football, right?
Right. Well, that's the curses of getting to the championship game, right? I mean, St. John's is dealing with the same thing. Holidays go by the wayside a little bit, right? So here's my question: Your birthday's on Thanksgiving. Like, what can you do? Everything's closed, isn't it? So it's just hang out around.
I don't know. I honestly, I'm so old now. It doesn't matter. Who cares, right? But I know, like
kids
my
care.
kids. My son's 9, my daughter's 13. So it's fun for them to do. And my son came and woke me up this morning. He's like, "Do you want to know what I got you?" You know what I mean? I'm like, "No, dude, like wait till tomorrow." But I think they get more excited than I do, but I think that's the best part of it.
That is awesome. You want to know? I'd be like, yeah, I want to know. Tell me. I'll look surprised.
Yeah, I almost said yes because I'm horrible at it and I always want to know, but I'm like, no, because I know he loves a surprise and it's not as fun if I know it.
What do the kids have school today? I know like my kids are out today. They only went Monday, Tuesday. Do they have school today? And if not, obviously you have the games Saturday night. You have 3 days. I know they're going to be practicing, but you have 3 days of a lot of free time for these kids coming into this weekend.
Yeah, that's kind of the worry, right? So there's no school. So they had a half day yesterday, and then no school today, no school tomorrow, no school Friday. But we're practicing right at game time, so we'll practice later on this afternoon.
So 3:00.
Hopefully the kids are up. I kind of already sent a couple huddle messages and try to make sure they're up and moving around and doing their thing. So it's trying to go about it as a regular week, but it's almost impossible on this kind of week. But like you said, St. John's going through the same thing. It's not like we're the only ones off or anything like that. So it's going through the motions, just kind of have practice at the same time, and hopefully things work out on Saturday.
Because I wonder this about the Bears that play on Friday, right? This week as well, So they're going to go through their Thanksgiving stuff, and they're traveling. But let's just say the Eagles at home, so like that. Do you tell the kids or suggest what they eat on Thursday, or is it just you guys be you, and then we'll worry about it on Friday? And they come in sluggish.
Yeah, worry about it. They've got about 48 hours to digest that. So I hope by then it's just fuel by then. And I'm sure I don't want to tell them I just eat as much as humanly possible. Who cares? So with their metabolisms and like me and you, if I eat a lot on Thanksgiving, I'll still feel it on Saturday. So I got to be careful myself. So it's
I'm still feeling that pizza I had over on Sunday night, man. Like, geez.
Right. Yeah, it's that's how I am too. 3 days later, I'm all bloated, which is a weird thing to say for a man, but you know what I mean? But
we don't talk about that enough as men, right? That's what we'll look at that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, so looking back at last weekend, obviously, I talked about it on air. I had about an hour and a half before game time, Dale's texting me, "How's it looking?" And I'm going to pick up a pizza, and I'm like, I'm not even sure I'm going to go to this game. I mean, it was like I'm going to have to hook up the boat to get there. It was just torrential downpour. I live about 15 minutes away from ALA North Mesa there. And I was like, and it's going that way. So I was like, oh my gosh. But then it kind of loosened up and the radar said it wasn't going to, and then it just rained the whole time we were there, right? At least it turned into a drizzle for a little bit. In terms of the preparation.
For 3 minutes.
For
3 minutes. I was like, oh, this is open. This is going to be nice. We're going to be able to throw the ball. It works better in our favor. And then it goes right back to rain. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, but at least it went to a drizzle for a little bit to where it didn't feel like it was raining. It just felt like a mist kind of. I saw you guys. I just happened to be standing there when you guys were coming out of the locker room because we were hovered underneath this little canopy, and you guys came by and, man, tell me about the locker room going into that game because, Wilcox, weather's different down there. They get rain. It's colder down there, stuff to that effect. And I was worried about that going into this game, standing there. You guys came out of the locker room and your kids were just fired up, ready to go. It didn't look like they were affected by it. Your coaching staff was wide-eyed and ready to go. And I didn't see any, I'm going to use the word fear, right? That's not the right word, but I didn't see any of this, oh, man, this is going to suck tonight going into it. How did you get the team ready to go out in those environments when you haven't played in those environments at all, right?
I think it's just something. I think the kids became kids again. And it's like they're not adults where they go out there and they get paid to do this. And we get, we have to go play on their end. Man, those kids were excited to do that. They wanted to go out there and play their room. Like, was in the back of their head, yes, they can fumble. Was there more things that could happen?
Yeah.
Was it better for a little bit more stronger running team? Yes. Like all that stuff's in the back of their head. But I thought it was kind of cool because their energy was really high.
Yeah.
And I felt like they were just excited to go play in that. Like they felt like they became little kids again. And they did. They had a lot of fun. They started off really well and long, crazy game, but I love the energy that they came out with for sure.
Yeah, I mean, and I forget that too. And it's funny now that you say that, it just clicked on my head because I was noticing like every adult's like got layers on and umbrellas, and we're all just huddled up, and kids are running around in shorts and short sleeve shirts in the stands, and stuff. So when you just said that, it actually clicked. I forget that you're coaching high school kids, so.
Yeah, my son got there, and my wife said like my 9-year-old, the first like 3 minutes, two girls in his class in 4th grade come up and told my wife, Bennett's in the puddles. Like he was jumping and running through the puddles and playing football in the puddles, and like he's having a blast emulating those kids out on the field, and those kids in high school are getting to go do that. So it was miserable. I tried to go without a poncho.
Yeah, I saw you put it on.
Guy for it. I know, but like the coaches were like, put it on. If we win this week and you're sick next week, that's just dumb.
It wasn't a poncho though. It was a jacket, right? It wasn't a poncho.
Yeah,
it was a clear
like a hunting
poncho.
Jacket. Yeah, like that's it. It's a hunting jacket is a little bit better than a poncho, right?
Well, yeah, and that's what I did. I had my Columbia weather that I've owned for like 10 years. I wear it like once every 6 years here in Phoenix, and I got to break that out, and it kept me dry. It was nice. It was just, then the wind was there, and that rain was coming down sideways. It was an interesting environment. And I was making fun of it too. Because I was like, man, everywhere else in the country plays in this all the time, and we're all wussies right now.
That's our Arizona people like, brr, like it was cold though. I don't know. It was the most interesting weather game that I played in. That's for other than
I'll give you
we
that.
played at St. John's, I think in 2011, and it was freezing, but this was just different.
Yeah,
this was different.
It was a completely different environment, and you started off the game nice. Their first drive interception. They threw the ball, and it was a nice play. I apologize. I forgot who got it because I wasn't able to do my charting. I wasn't able to do my charting because of all the rain. Returns it for a pick 6, and then things kind of slowed down a little. One thing that I noticed, and one of your coaches said to me without me even saying it to him after the game, they said, man, when that rain was coming down, we struggled, and I noticed that as well. That rain slowed down or stopped, and you guys were right back on pace again. From that perspective. Now, weather's supposed to be good this weekend, but learning curve here for these guys and for you as a coaching staff on how to deal with that type of stuff.
Yeah, I think it was. I think offensively we did okay. I think defensively is so like Wilcox. First and foremost, freaking phenomenal football team. Oh my God, those backs are so good. And I will say this, Coach Lotz at Wilcox is probably one of the best men, not just coaches that I know. That dude is an amazing guy. Those boys were coached so well.
I agree.
They were gracious and you know what I mean? Like just like they lost, but they're good. They're commenting on my Twitter and they're just good kids.
That's what impressed me. That's what impressed me. Not only the kids, but the coach. Right after the game, you said we're back or whatever you said, and he goes, "Go win it." You don't see that in high school sports too much, right?
No, you don't, because everybody gets all self-reflective and worried about themselves. And Coach Lotz, obviously, they would have loved to win, but I don't know if you saw. My wife goes, "Man, you sure gave the coach from Wilcox a really long hug after that game."
You were with him for a long time, yeah.
He's an awesome dude. I talked to him all throughout the year. We text message all year. I called him a couple times throughout the season. He's a good dude. So. Hats off to them. I love their program. Those two backs are nasty. But back to what
the two backs, and then in coordination with that quarterback. If you don't mind me jumping in,
right?
they worked seamlessly. There was one play, and I didn't mean to jump in on you here, but
no, you're good. Please do.
Just kidding. Yes, but there was a play where I was explaining that wing T offense that they run to Autumn. We're standing there because she wasn't understanding. And I go, look, they either hand it to the guy on the right and he runs with it, or they fake it to him, turn around and hand it to the guy on the left, and he runs with it, or they fake it to him too, and then the quarterback. And I go, and then they just run it up the middle. And I go, we haven't seen a lot of that middle run at all. Boom, next play was that big wrong run up the middle. And I was like, yeah, I shouldn't have said that. But it was amazing.
You jinxed us.
Yeah, it was amazing watching that offense. We saw, the Phoenix Christian earlier. We saw, of course, ALA. I saw them on film. This was the most pristine, just to give your defense some credit, most pristine running game that was confounding out there that I saw all season.
It was infinite. That wing tee, first of all, that team does it extremely well, Wilcox. And then that wing tee is built for weather like that.
Yeah.
It is built for that.
That's what I was going to ask you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the wing tee was like, that was definitely a big deal, like for them. That was that played in their favor. Excuse me. Had a little coffee and a little burpee again today.
You don't have to explain it to us again.
Little burpee. But man, that wing tee is built for the rain and the bad weather and the mud and all that stuff. And man, they run it so well. Those backs hit those A gaps and those traps so fast. And what people don't realize, like, they went for a lot of yards, but it is harder to react on defense in a slick field than it is being the one making the cut. When you're the offensive player, you know where you're going. When you're the defensive player, it's all reactionary. Mm-hmm. Like the grass is wet. That turf is so wet when you're playing.
Your guys both sides were slipping. When they would literally hit the ground and then just slide. Yeah,
just slide. And honestly, like, it's hard to cut on defense. It's hard to react to what's going on. Like, I think that's why we hit a little bit. Like, we didn't hit the 50-yard runs, but we hit a couple like 20-yard gains. And it's like you could just see them. Like, how did that work out? Is because the guys are so close, but they don't have their footing too. And I honestly thought the play calling on the Wilcox side was really good. They caught us in a blitz a couple times. We brought our safety down in the box, blitzed in the B gap on the opposite side, and they just so happened, and maybe it was a tendency and we got to get away from it, but they'd hit that A gap on the weak side and they took off a couple times. They got us. It's we definitely held our own on the goal line and later on in the game when we needed to, but they hit us with some big plays. That's for sure.
I mean, the other thing I noticed that I've never seen before, at least, recently at least, was like I would watch two players hit each other. And it's like they would slide off of each other. It wasn't like a stick. Yeah, it was like they'd hit. It
wasn't like a run through. It was like a bounce off, trying to figure it out, go back in the play.
Exactly.
It was seriously a crazy game.
And of course, we were back a little bit farther than we normally are to notice all that. It was interesting, but no, I agree with you on Wilcox. So I mean, you guys have played, and St. John's has their own opponents also coming to this game that are good as well. But you guys played Santan Charter. There, and I don't mean to to be disrespectful to Morenci. They were a good team as well. But then you got into Santan Charter. Then you had to play Wilcox last week and everything, right? And then you got St. John's this week and things. I was telling Dale, this is for the third time in a row. This is your toughest route to get to this championship game coming into it this week.
Obviously, we had Santan last year in that semifinals game. But
that was one game,
the
right?
Same team, it's one game.
Now you've had two,
and I think Morenci, we just played out of our minds. I think that loss was the best thing that happened. So I think Morenci's even a good football team. Morenci played this team pretty well in the regular season. They played against St. John's pretty well. So it's been a juggernaut. It has not been an easy thing. We've been down at halftime in the last two games. Our kids have battled. They've been through it all, but it is. It's definitely been. It's been a road for sure on our side of the. I mean, their side of the bracket too. ALA and
that's what I mean. I'll give it all the way up. I mean, St. John's had to go through juggernauts that normally you wouldn't have played them and stuff like that. So as I said, I think it was last week. This 2A is getting pretty dang competitive. Now, the interesting thing will be, will it stay competitive or will you have some drop-offs? I know the rural schools, as kids graduate, they drop off and get young and have to build back up. But if it stays like this, man, this 2A's have really been built up, and this is going to lead to some excitement. I already gave Santan props. All those sophomores on that team, man, they're going to be tough the next couple of years.
Absolutely. They were good already, right?
I know. So that's the thing.
Yeah, so they're going to be good. And obviously, one of their better players is a junior. They're real good. They're going to be back. And honestly, Wilcox, they're not super old either.
No, they had a lot of
juniors on the teams. Yeah. We have a decent amount of juniors too. So I think there's not going to be a lot of drop off. I don't think in the next couple of years. And then St. John's, they're junior senior type team too. So it's there's some good football. Freaking ALA brings back a lot of guys. So Everybody's gonna be, and I think Pima's gonna be better next year too. I'm not trying to look forward to next year, but
Pima I know, but Pima dropped down because they had graduates, right? So now they're just going to get better as they get older and things to that effect, right? So it's just interesting. It's just more of a perspective here in the question of, tougher route to get to this point than the last couple, So how do you feel your team set up? It's hard to talk about last week's game because of the rain. It changed a lot of stuff on it. It's hard to go, oh, well, this guy didn't do well. You need to do this better. Those elements were something you're not going to face and haven't faced before. So, I mean, your team going into the game this weekend, mental mindset, Thanksgiving, you guys have been through this before, obviously, last couple of years over the Thanksgiving holiday. Most of these kids have been on the team. At least a lot of the players have been on, have been through this. So your mental makeup on the team going into this game.
It's been a tough one. I feel like yes, we've been there before, and I think we've kind of talked about it throughout the season, right? It's yes, we've been there before, but how do you keep doing it? How do you keep that motivation? How do you stay hungry and humble at the same time? And that's the biggest thing that's the biggest challenge. And I was talking to our athletic director, Eric Dahl, the other day, and he's like, man, like this might be your coaching staff's best coaching over the last 3 years since you've been here to be able to go through these playoffs and be down at halftime and do all these things. He's like, you guys have done miraculous things, but this could be your best group. And I feel that way. I think every year is pretty hard.
Last year, though, man, last year was.
I know. But last year we were running on pure emotion, right? Yeah. It was like love and emotion. There was so much more to it where we played so free because it's like we're not even supposed to be here. We're not supposed to win in. We're kind of the underdogs and everything. And I feel like our kids were played. It was unbelievably free. It was pretty special. And then this year you go into it and it's like, you've won twice and you're getting back and everybody expects it. Everybody doesn't want you to be good there. Like there's a lot more mind games this year than there were last year. Last year it's just like, hey, let's roll the ball out and see what happens. And then this year is like, there's so much, there's pressure, right? And we put most of the pressure on ourselves and maybe from outside sources too, just as like, oh, three-peat. I just think the mentality going into this game is just do the routine things routinely. Just go back to the last 2 years do not matter because like we got to live in the moment. You guys, this team right here is going for 1, not 3. This exact team is going for 1. And all you got to do is go 1-0, one more week. And then you have done something, but we can't like the last 2 years. Yeah, they were on that. Yeah, some of them played, some of them started, but this is so different. We're just concentrating on that one.
Well, I got to ask this. I got to ask you this, and it brings some controversy into this, right? I'm watching this Lane Kiffin situation at Ole Miss, where he's obviously leaving Ole Miss for a boatload of money, probably from LSU, and he's hemming and hawing. They have a big game this weekend. They dropped in the college football playoffs last night. You publicly, your name's come up a couple times on Twitter on a couple jobs out there.
I did see that. I did see that. What's your question?
My question is, does that affect anything? Do you have to sit down with the guys and talk to them? Kenny Dillingham had to do it this year. Do you have to sit down with everybody and talk to them, whether, what the intentions are, or is it just ignore the noise? Like, how do you do this? I imagine in high school circles, this can be a distraction.
I don't even think I need to address it, and here's why. I think these boys know how much I love them and I love SCA. So I don't even think and maybe there's some grumbling between parents. They might think this, but if they know me personally, if they know anything about me, if they've got to know me at all as a person, they know I'm going nowhere, right? So my son is in 4th grade, my daughter's in 8th grade. I love SCA. We're right in the middle of building something special. Like we got the new field, we got the scoreboard. The program's starting to create a great tradition. Not that it wasn't before,
but not just the football, but I mean, other sports are banking off of the football success. Yeah,
dude, the girls flag football team is doing awesome. They won the state championship. The volleyball won the state championship. Man, if we lose it, then what I mean? We're not a football school anymore. But it's I just love the place. I love the energy. I support every other sport as much as I support our boys to whatever extent I can. And I don't want to go anywhere. To be completely honest, I received a call and I said I'm not interested from someone. So you know what I mean? So that's where we're at on that. And I'll be completely honest and I'll tell the parents that if they ever ask anything. And I think the kids totally know that
Oh, look at that, folks. Now it's controversial because he froze up right there, right in the middle of that. He just hung up on us. Oh, now I can start my.
Am I not here?
Yeah, I know you froze up for a second. You froze up right there, and I was going to do the speculation of, folks, he's leaving. He's leaving. He froze up.
Here's my plan. Here's my goal unless I get fired or asked to leave prior to this. My son is in 4th grade. I want to see him all the way through to high school. If he doesn't want me to coach him in high school and he wants to play football, at that time I would step down because I want to give him his opportunity. But if he wants me to coach him, I'm there until he's done. And then I'll probably hopefully retire someday and kind of get a little fifth wheel. And
so you want to be like the Richard Taylors and those guys that have coached at his school for 20-something, 30-something years and you get out, right?
And here's the reason why. If I were to go somewhere else, who's that for? That's for me. Yeah. That's such a selfish thing to be like, oh, now I've done it here. Like, I love these people. I tell these people, like, I'm not a lip service guy. Like, I love this place. I'm not trying to go somewhere and build something else because, like, all that is for me. That's a selfish thing. Yeah, if we had to have an opportunity, it could be cool to do if that's what I wanted to do. But I'm not trying to go do that. I'm trying to build the best, biggest thing and have the biggest influence on this school that I can, and that's where I'm at.
No, that's admirable at all. So I just had to throw it out there, throw some controversy out there, going into it.
Listen, I'm glad you asked because, like I said, I did get a phone call. It's cool. But I'm like, I appreciate it, but no, thank you.
Yeah, I remember I asked you after last year, after winning it twice, I was like, all right, are you starting to get phone calls now? And, and you basically gave the same answer at that time as well. So, and I jokingly texted you it's something you got to tell me.
Yeah. Well, no, you know what, dude, I'm not even that good. I just happen to have good kids. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not even that good a coach. I'm just in a good spot. Yeah. That's what it is. So,
and like I said, it's going to sound like I'm knocking you now, but look, your coaching staff as well. You got to give Ty, offensive coordinator, and Paul Clark, and the guys on your staff just a ton of good. The adjustments that they make, with and without your input is just an amazing thing to watch. Just as a football fan out there.
Yeah, it's our staff is. I don't care what staff it is out there. Our staff is phenomenal. They're kids that they're dudes that care about the kids, want to put the kids' best situation. They also want to make sure we're playing the right players, doing the right thing. Everybody works well with each other. There is hardly, in a staff
really
and a bunch of men playing football. There's so much testosterone and so many opinions. We do so well as a staff of literally collaboratively thinking. Decentralized command. So I have what I want done, or if I say that I want something done on defense or offense, it's implemented in their way. It's not pushed. Ty does an awesome job. Paul does an awesome job. Offensive, everybody cares. And that's what it's about. And it's hard to not find super selfish coaches, which sounds crazy. You feel like they coach for this. But literally, coaches a lot of time are selfish and they want to make themselves look good, at the expense of others. And none of our coaches are like that.
Yeah. No, it's amazing to watch. I talked to Paul Clark after and I saw him. It was funny, too, because after the game when I saw him, his first things to me are, I got a hunt coming up next Monday. Almost disappointed that you guys won. It was kind of
no, he's like, oh, well, dude, I guess he's got some hunt that's super special.
It is. It really is.
I don't know if it's a once in a lifetime hunt, but I'm like, oh, dude, if I hear about this hunt one more time, I don't care. I go, bro, I'll go up there with a butter knife and kill that ram. That's easy, dude. Stop it. We don't need to go up there all special.
But it wasn't. I kind of joke around there. I was like, oh, he doesn't care about this game, which isn't the case at all. But he was like, oh man, we got to get ready for this game. I got to rearrange all this stuff. And it was instantly into how to get out there and do this and put the kids in the right position to win and stuff to that effect. And it just struck me as kind of because a lot of coaches, like you said, and I'm not going to say a lot, but there are coaches out there that would be like, oh, this is affecting my what I have plans coming up and stuff to that effect. And he was like, I got to rearrange this and do all this to get out there. I found it an interesting side take on there, talking to him there, and it just in the parking lot, where it came out. So
yeah, he's dude. That's what I'm saying. He's one of the most interesting conversations you'll ever have in your life too. So that's like our staff is the most eclectic group too. Bunch of old men, bunch of young guys. We all mesh together. But Paul Clark's a special one for sure. He's a good one to have a conversation.
Yeah,
with.
so let's get into this week, man. St. John's 12-1 as well, and I also find it interesting this year. You're going through, outside of Phoenix teams, right? Wilcox, obviously, then St. John's coming up. So most people aren't as familiar with them going into these games. You obviously are studying the film and all of that to that effect. But St. John's is one of the, if not the best team in the state, one of the best teams in the state coming into this game. 12-1 matchups. Last 2 years. You guys have won those championship games late, right? And down at one point and had to come back and win it. I mean, I'm expecting that same type of an atmosphere this weekend, set up this game this weekend in terms of you guys.
I think St. John's is good. They're very good. The only team that they lost to is now playing in the state championship game right after us as a 3A team from Round Valley.
Yeah.
That's their only loss. Now, they played close games. Santan had them to overtime at St. John's and went for 2. Santan could have beat them. ALA was 13-10 in the second round. This game last week was pretty close. But I'll tell you what, they are a heck of a football team. They're just one of those. They've been great. I think this is their 11th or 12th or 15th. It's some crazy number. This is how many state championships they've been in. This is their 11th, I think. Maybe
they haven't been. They haven't been there since 2008, I think, is what I was reading.
Yep.
Which means they're hungry, right? This group of kids wants to get up on that monument that they have up there.
That's the year I lost to them. So we lost to them in the in the quarterfinals at St. John's. It was like 9 degrees. That's what I remember playing. And then their coach, Mike Morgan, is now, and he went away for a while, and now he's back, and he helps coach offense on that team now. They're so well coached. They're so good. They're big. They're strong. They're physical. Wait till you see this number 77 for them, number 1 for them. Like, they're big, talented, athletic kids. They're definitely going to want to kill the private school in Scottsdale. Yeah. They're going to have that little bit extra edge coming at us, but they're extremely well coached. Quarterback can spin it. He can run. They have good athletes on the interior, good big offensive line, defensive line, linebackers. Like, they're pretty good across the board. I wouldn't necessarily say, hey, here's their weakness. I wouldn't tell you if I thought one, but I don't, there's not like a big there's not a big glaring weakness that I do see, and coaching is phenomenal, and it's a heck of a matchup. I think it's what you want state championships to be, right?
Well, absolutely. I mean,
teams. Yeah.
It's going to be fascinating to see. I mean, they have to come back down again, right? They've been back and forth over the last couple of weeks and everything, and they're used to it. They have to travel to get to most of their games up there in St. John's. But you're right. I mean, they have a senior wide receiver that also plays a defensive back there. They do Platt there. 33.8 yards per game receiving. Rushing, their senior.
Which number is that? Which number is that?
You know what? I don't have that. Let me pull up their the roster. I just have my notes.
I don't know last names. I know numbers.
Oh, I know. You're one of those coaches, huh?
Yes. Because if I know his name, then it gets all personal. I start to like the kid.
I'm just kidding. Your buddy Ryan. You're just like number 52. Platt's 7. Yeah. Platt's 7 is what number he is there.
He's a good athlete.
And it's just like the numbers that these guys are putting up. I mean, quite frankly, it's comparable to your team out there and everything. But they do have a lot of seniors that are making some noise here, right? Which, it's a thing here. But seniors tend to be a little bit bigger, a little bit faster than even their junior counterparts and things to that effect. Coming into this game. So tell us about St. John's, running team, passing team. I know they pass the ball a lot, but is it a traditional offense like you guys, or, are we done with the wing tees and all of that?
No, they can what's funny is they can do a little bit of it all. Yeah. They can go from the wishbone to running like option to spreading it out, running a screen game. They kind of have. Yeah, so they line up in wishbone, and I'm 100% certain we're going to see some wishbone. Like, I 100% certain we will see some wishbone. they line up a wishbone. They line up, they kind of like a little wing tee set, similar to us in ways, but then they go condense a little bit more, open it back up, screen, get the ball to the edges, run sweep. So like they're it's not like they're not a wing tee offense that comes out and just runs wing tee, right? It's not one of those. They do too much. So
Yeah, I mean, I was just pulling up their season stats here. Yeah, I mean, their quarterback's a junior. Weight number 10 there, 12 55 or 55 completions, 109 attempts here on the season for them, and they have several people carrying the ball. Close to 100 carries. A couple of them out there as well. 395 total carries on the year for this matchup. So, I mean, look, it's Saturday night. You guys have been there before. It's their first time in a long time coming to this game, and it's got to be exciting, obviously, and getting these guys grounded. My last question in terms of leading up to it, do you have to kind of talk to these guys? Because let's face it, we're dealing with teenage kids, right? It's easy to go, a third time there. We've been there before. I mean, are you having to bump that down and sell it as, look, like you said, just go 1-0. This is a different environment. Yep. A lot of confidence on your team right now. I mean, how are you having to tamper that down, or are the kids got the right mindset and just on their own?
Yeah, I think it's a great question. I think they've had it. They kind of go up and down, right? They kind of go up and down for practice. Like you can have a good practice, you can have bad practices, and because they're worried about this, because they're not. I think it's just like forget the past as well as you honor the past. We're just trying to go 1-0, and I feel like we're just trying to go good practice by good practice. So I already sent something out in huddle today that I'm switching up the practice a little bit, and I think it'll kind of like get him going, be a little bit more business type. So you can probably see that in a little bit, but trying to kind of bring a little bit more business to practice today, tomorrow, and Friday, and get going on that. So I think it's trying to really get him to concentrate on where we're at in the moment, not in the past.
Well, that's because I can. I mean, I look back to when I was that, and it's been a long time. But even as adults, right, you'll see that even in professional ranks of, we beat them twice and we blew them out, and all of a sudden you're in a dogfight, right? And things
Can't
to
do
that
it.
effect.
Can't do it. St. John's is good, man. They're here for a reason. So are we. So it should. I hope it's a good one. I hope we're on the right end of it, but I know it's going to be a good one no matter what.
Yeah, it's over at Red Mountain. I'm not Red Mountain, excuse me. Mountain Point over there in Phoenix, but Ahwatukee there. 3 p.m. on Saturday. Of course, we'll be there. We don't have the conflict of the ASU U of A game. They were nice enough to move that to Friday night for us. Exactly. We had plans until I realized it was Friday night. I was like, all right, we'll go to the SEA game. And we just might have to leave a little bit early, So hopefully it's not down to the wire like it's been the last couple of years.
I know, jeez. Well, let's just. I hope we come out on top. Like I said, I know it's gonna be a dogfight, but we're hoping to come out on top. But there's a freaking mountain in front of us.
But knowing you like I have over the last couple of years, you wouldn't want this any other way going into this weekend. So whatever happens on that, I know you're excited to be here again and have this challenge ahead of you. And it's going to be fun, man. I'm looking forward to it for you guys, and I'm looking forward to seeing St. John's. I'm not going to lie about that either. It's just I was like, wow, a team from St. John's? Is this good?
I love the rural, like I said, I'm from Kingman, so I love the rural type connection too. I feel like these guys don't like us, but I definitely have a respect for all the rural teams for sure. So.
Why wouldn't a rural team like you guys of all things, just Phoenix and all of that
just
stuff?
Just a private city school. Okay, like, why would you? Right? Like, I'm just being honest. Like, why would a private city? Like, think about it, private Scottsdale. Like, they're just gonna be like,
I get it.
Like, you're a rural kid. Like, I'm not gonna say that I wasn't like that when I was younger before I met people.
Yeah. Oh no.
Right. But like, you're gonna think that.
I saw it at Dobson. Yeah, I saw it at Dobson where I went to school, and then we had it toward like Paradise Valley when we had to play them back in the day. You always have that, but I mean, it's just that the whole thing's out there again, right? People are starting that narrative of why do the rural teams always have to travel to Phoenix for these games, and it's unfair to them, and you get all that stuff, so that could be a chip on their shoulder. I can understand that kind of a deal, because it is an interesting thing how this whole system works out there. But look, they're going to come down prepared and ready to play you guys, and I have no doubt you guys will be ready to play also. Parting words here before we go, and you go enjoy your Thanksgiving weekend and get ready for Saturday.
A couple things. Happy Thanksgiving. Go Bears. Go Eagles. And hopefully on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, I think we get hopefully we have one more show of celebratory show.
Yeah,
next
are you
week
going to do
is
that?
my hope.
I'm not going to ask you. I was going to ask you a question, but I won't ask you that. I'm not going to put that in the
Hey,
universe.
I'll do it one way or
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. You're not going to be like some people.
Yes. No, dude, I listen, if
We lost.
get
I'm not
beat,
coming on this week. We
yeah,
lost.
like it's a game. It's yes, I don't want to shortcome it, but yeah, I'll be on no matter what, because no matter what, I appreciate everything that you've done for us throughout the year. I'm sure that people that want us to lose will love to hear me after that if we were to lose.
I mean,
so
it's a part
you
of
know
it.
what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
It's humble in all things, and it no matter what, I'm gonna be here. I hope we're on the right end of it. I think we can be. So that's what I'm gonna go with.
And then, like I said, there's a standing invite. We've reached out to some, and some have declined and stuff like that. But there's a standing invite. Any 2A or even 3A schools out there, you want to come on. Doesn't necessarily mean we'll do it live on this program. We can record it later on and put it out separately and stuff. Yeah. I have that invite, out there for people, and it's amazing. It's amazing what you get told sometimes. That's fine. It's I'm only trying to publicize.
As I said, they can have their opinions, right? Don't worry about it. So, look, I think what was my. This is my. Did you see my Twitter the other day? Let me pull this up. I had a great quote on there.
Oh yes, don't take advice from somebody or something without that one. Yeah,
it's perfect. It says never worry about criticism from someone you would never ask advice from.
My favorite part about you posting that though was everybody instantly was like, "Who's talking smack, coach?"
No, just talking. It's just like when you get this far in the playoffs, everybody's got opinions. So I'm just like, I would never ask this dude for advice, so why would I care about what his opinion is anyways?
Well, I mean, that's the thing, like we're an opinion show, and you'd be amazed at how many people are like, your opinion's stupid. Well, that's fine.
Fair.
But it's my opinion, I don't.
It's probably a bad quote for a sports podcast. So,
yeah, it's like, we get criticism all the time on here, and it's like, that's what we do. Like, we're putting it out there. We're not hiding behind stuff and doing it, and we just have fun with it. You got to do that. But I get it, man. It gets stressful sometimes. I can imagine for you, your team, even St. John's, right? They're not clean on some stuff up there. And I don't mean that negatively, but some of their people are like, they shouldn't be in this game or whatever. And, it's the nature of it right now. It's the nature of it with everybody able to talk online and stuff to that effect. And, you guys, I can't speak for any other team because I'm not, I don't follow them as closely, but, Desert Ridge is 6A team, some controversy. They just lost their coach as well. And, there's some other issues I've talked about on here and things to that effect, and then all of a sudden I get criticized because I put an opinion out there on something that I know and have been told in that program. And it's just like,
and you actually are very familiar with it too.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't just make stuff up, people, and I'm actually being nice about what I'm putting out there, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, so that's like I said, you handle it well. I know a lot of people handle it well out there and stuff to that effect. And like I said, I have no doubt, hopefully you guys come out with the win this weekend, obviously, but I have no doubt it's going to be handled professionally and well held no matter what the result is. They're coming up on Saturday night.
Appreciate it. That's a good compliment. I'll take that. I like that. That's a very nice compliment.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I had any doubt on that, I'd be, don't embarrass me, coach, is what I'm trying to. No, I'm just kidding. Well, get out of here. Go have a good Thanksgiving weekend. We'll see you on Saturday as much as we can with the restrictions, of course, and everything. But we'll see you guys out there rooting for you guys and paying attention and looking forward to a good game. And we'll see you then. All right.
Awesome. Thanks for everything, man. I'll talk to you.
You got to talk to you later. Bye. So of
Happy
course,
Thanksgiving. Bye.
Thank you. You too. Tell the family we say hello as well. We don't do that enough here, and especially your dad. Hey, pops. Good to see you again there as well. Just an absolutely gem of a human being, Mike's dad, and his mom's just amazing as well. We spend some time with them at the games as well and talk to them, and all of that. So when we come back here, of course, Mike Sheehan, Scottsdale Christian Academy, St. John's this Saturday night or afternoon, 3 p.m. down there at things. We will be there. I know some people on the show came last year. If you're interested in checking that out, have nothing going on, reach out. We'd love to see you down there as well. And watch some good football, to be honest with you, is what I'm excited to see down there. When we come back, we'll keep the show rolling. I got Dale's picks here for our games this week. I'll go over those. We'll talk the college football playoffs as well. Just the garbage stuff is starting to happen with the college football playoff, folks. ASU got the win last night at Washington State over there in Maui in the championship game. Today against USC as well. Look, this team is outperforming. I know Bruce Cooper yesterday was like, I'm not going to get excited with this offseason or with this, preseason, pre-conference schedule. I agree with them on that, but this team is showing something special that's just fun to watch right now as well, coming up. And, of course, we'll get you set up for the weekend as well here, right? Our last show of the week here. No McCollum on business today. It's off until Monday as well. And, we didn't address this earlier, by the way. And I will get to the text that came in that I pushed off there for Lou. But look, not in jail, guys. I didn't go to jail yesterday with the deal. Yeah. Still in it. Still, we had to do a continuance. But didn't make it to jail yesterday. So able to do the show today. For the people that don't know what we're talking about, they're probably like, oh, is this a bad dude in jail? What's he talking about? Come on back, folks. The main event. And we're back here. Main events. Woo-wee. Last show of the week. Squeezing 5 days into 3 can be a juggling act out there, but I think we're accomplishing it properly out there. And Flash Gordon earlier text in. Don't forget, text us 623-252-6670. Whether you're catching us here on Robat TV live, on demand later on as well on the free YouTube channel, or even on the free podcast system out there. You can text in anytime. We'll see it next time we go live and talk about it as well. Hit us up anytime at TME Sports Show. Hit us up there. I do a lot of talks when I'm watching the games, like the Cardinals-Buccaneers games, ASU, U of A. I don't do play-by-play per se, but I talk about things I see when I'm at the games, etc. That's where I do it on the main event side of things. Of course, my personal Twitter is more for the fun stuff out there and sports takes that I got out there. So you hit us up both of those places anytime that you got. We don't respond to the text messages. We respect your phone's privacy. But on Twitter, of course, we can respond and do all that stuff with you out there. Flashcode, I know you were asking this to Dale as well, but he's addressed it before. So, but he says, hey, Super Bowl champion Dale and the other guy, Steve. So we should change this show to Super Bowl champ and the other guy out there, right? He says, don't you think we need an offensive head coach paired up with a rookie quarterback there? Dale isn't to the point where Jonathan Gannon needs to be replaced. I can just tell you that right now. He said it on the show before and talked about it, but he's leaning that way, that there's problems here with this team, etc. And he's concerned about the offensive line. If I can talk for him for a second, he's concerned about how the offensive line has regressed. They're blocking, where their heads are at, where their feet are at on the blocking side, and they've regressed. And that, to him, goes down to coaching on that side, right? As you're looking at that. I will tell you this: if you get rid of Jonathan Gannon, generally you go offensive coach, right? You had Cliff Kingsbury offensive coach, you go Jonathan Gannon defensive coach. The trend in the NFL is you go opposite of what you were before. So if Jonathan Gannon was to move on, and you were a betting man, you would put money on it to be an offensive coach out there as well. Obviously, that would help out a rookie quarterback, kind of what you did with Cliff and Kyler when you hired Cliff Kingsbury. Give him his quarterback as an offensive coach, and you build it from that standpoint. So that's usually how it works, Flash, and everything. And I would expect that to happen again if Jonathan Gannon was to move on. He's not moving on right now, folks. I can tell you that. Now, I'm getting more and more on the side of it needs to happen, but I also understand. But I have fallen on the side of Rallis, right? The defensive coordinator is not doing his job right now either, and struggling out there. So I think you might need to revamp this whole coordinator position if Jonathan Gannon sticks around. Definitely on the offensive side, you need a whole new offensive staff there on the offensive side for the Cardinals coming up as well. So text us at 623, and don't forget, like, subscribe to the Freak Podcast Systems. Even if you don't listen to it, just log into Spotify or Apple or Podbean and just search at TME Sports Show and just hit like, subscribe there for us. It just gets us out there into the world for people that want to listen and see it. We see them all out there, except, of course, same thing on the YouTube page as well. That's just, we're putting it out there for people, obviously. Majority, by a large amount, catch us live here at Robat TV or on demand as well. So we appreciate everybody that does do that. And we put it out in other factions for people as well out there. And we can't thank you guys enough. So, we said yesterday, ASU basketball just over in Hawaii, just outperforming, getting these wins. USC today, and I like what this team looks like here early in the season. But like I said earlier, I'm on Bruce Cooper's side on this. I want to see what they do when they start playing Big 12 foes. Last year, I said ASU men's basketball was going to be a middle of the pack Big 12 team. Meaning middle, they might have been 1 or 2 points below or 1 or 2, and they weren't good. They weren't good at all. So this year I'm reserving it. This team right now, the way they're playing for ASU men's basketball, they should be a middle-of-the-pack Big 12 team. Can they be a middle-of-the-pack Big 12 team, or is it going to fall apart? Whether it be injuries, talent, etc. That's the question you have to wait, and I'm going to wait and see this year on that. As in terms of Arizona Wildcats basketball, one of the best 4 teams in the country, period, end of story. They should be that way through the end of the season as well. Now, they're going to lose some games. Big 12 isn't an easy conference to go through. They're going to lose some games here or there and stuff like that. But the talent around Arizona Wildcats basketball right now, they're a top 4 team in this country, period, end of story. They should stay that way, barring major injuries or something to that effect coming up from that side of things that happen there. And they're going to lose, folks. They're going to lose a few times this year, especially in conference play when they get up against some of these other coaches out there and stuff to that effect. And, going into this ASU U of A football game this weekend, the Territorial Cup, right? The college football playoffs came off last night. First time we got a ranked matchup in a long time here for the college football, for the Territorial Cup here, right? Throw up the college football playoffs graphic if you have it there, Kobe. I gave Kobe one thing, and I'm not sure if I don't remember if I told him. I've had a morning, folks. It's been a morning, and my brain's all foggy. So hopefully this has been a good show for you guys with the way my brain's working today. I couldn't find my other glasses. These ones are a little blurry. It's been a mess, yeah. So this is what comes out last night. No shocker. Night, Ohio State, Indiana, 1-2. Texas A&M 3, Georgia 4. Not a shocker. The SEC schools had to play garbage teams last week to keep their rankings. This is going to get interesting next week when you get conference championship games out there. Because obviously 1 and 2 play each other and 3 and 4 play each other. How do those games look? If Ohio State, for instance, Ohio State, Indiana, they get through this weekend. Let's say they win this weekend. And they get to next week's game, and it's a close game, they will stay in the top 4. The 1 and 2 will stay in the top 4. If it's a blowout, you might see the team that gets blown out drop down a little bit, drop out of the top 4. Texas A&M and Georgia, though, it's a different story for those two teams. Even if they go close, the loser of that game has the possibility of falling out of the top 5 coming up, which means you could have Texas Tech, if they win this weekend and they win the Big 12 championship game, which they're slated to do, folks. I got news for you. Texas Tech, they could slide into that 4 spot here, depending on how they look over the next 2 weeks if they win. So you can have that simple change coming up, right, from that side. Everything else, I mean, you could argue, like, I'm not a fan of a group of 5 team getting into this tournament. Whoever it is, this isn't a knock on Tulane. I had the same problem with Boise State making it last year, right? They aren't at the talent level. They aren't at the manpower. They aren't at the physical power of any of these teams ahead of them. Period. End of story. And if you believe that, you're just lying to yourself at that point. Oh, I want to see what the young guys can do. Okay. Or the small guys can do. Okay. You just want to see that, fine, whatever, right? I'm not a fan of that, but hey, they got to get in. Right now it's Tulane up from that side. But Tulane's going to get destroyed by Texas Tech. It ain't going to be close. Texas Tech is bigger, faster, stronger. Period. End of story. Right? Then you got some other question marks. And these teams, they played this weekend. Let's say everybody wins. These teams will all make it in because, of course, they're not playing the next weekend, right? Most of them aren't because their other teams are playing in the conference championship side. Miami's not going to play in the conference championship game unless SMU and Virginia have disastrous weekends, which I don't think they're going to do. Oklahoma's not going to make it to the SEC championship. Alabama's not either. Alabama could drop out here, though, man. If they lose this weekend to Auburn, they could drop out with their losses on that side. So pay attention to Alabama this weekend as well. The interesting story in this, though, here is Ole Miss. I talked a little bit about it with that segment there with Coach Sheehan from Scottsdale Christian Academy. Lane Kiffin is in the state of, is he leaving? Is he not going to leave? Is he going to, if he leaves? So if you missed a new part of the story, he has said his decision will be made after the Egg Bowl, which is this weekend. If he decides to leave and go to LSU, does he not coach after that? They slid down from the 8th spot. Oh, they slid down from the 6th spot to the 7th spot, I believe, this week. They moved down a spot. Ole Miss did. For no reason. The only reason they can move down is the Lane Kiffin news. Ole Miss, if Lane Kiffin leaves, if they beat Mississippi State this weekend, and Lane Kiffin announces he's going to LSU or possibly Florida, and I believe it's LSU, you can see Ole Miss take a big hit here in their standings and possibly go on the road here in the first round of the playoffs. And that's not fair to a bunch of kids that have worked their tail off this year to get there, but that's the way college football works. Something to pay attention to this weekend with this Ole Miss Mississippi State football game coming up this weekend as well for them out there and everything. So let me just load up here because I just realized I was on the wrong Twitter account. Let me check that as I see some notifications here. Make sure I get everybody out there as well. Let's see here. I apologize. Oh, last night, Autumn and her daughters are big Dancing with the Star fans. And I am not. No desire. Don't even care about it. I knew who the winner was going to be, and I haven't watched the second of it. Just because, obviously, he's the son of, Robert Irwin, fame when we were kids and stuff to that effect and everything. And I just like this. He's obviously got to be the fan favorite. And sure enough, he won it, whatever. But Autumn put out there, Carrie Ann needs to go. I don't know who Carrie Ann is. Isn't she a judge? Isn't she the negative judge? I don't even know. Robert chimes in and goes, I'm sure they'll cover this on tomorrow's show, the TME Sports Show. He said, I think Helly's an expert. No, we're not experts. They're not even, people dancing in it aren't even stars. Call me when Tom Cruise is dancing on that show. And then I won't pay attention to that neither, but maybe I will. I will at that point. I don't know. We'll see. Hey, picks here real quick as well going into this weekend, at least on the college football side of things, to go through it, just to make it fair, put it on air here as we're in overtime here on this Wednesday. And look, I'm prepared to stay along. If you want to talk about something, text me, 623-252-6670. Hit me up on Twitter as well on X at TME Sports Show. If you do it in the next 5-10 minutes, hey, we'll sit here and talk about it. Monoma Call 'em on business for the rest of this week. We'll be back on Monday for that. So as soon as we're done here, see ya. We're out of here and to enjoy our Thanksgiving weekend as well. But so Friday games coming up here. We got Georgia Tech, 4th-ranked Georgia, 16th-ranked Georgia Tech in this. I think Georgia Tech screwed the pooch last week by losing that game last week. Not that I thought they could beat Georgia, but this would have been a more compelling game in everybody's eyes if Georgia Tech would have won that game. But they're 16th ranked now. They got Georgia. Now it's at Georgia Tech. which gives me a little bit of a wrinkle here on the Georgia side of things. But I'm going to go with Georgia in this game. Dale's also picking Georgia in this game. I do think Georgia's the better team, but watch out for Georgia Tech. They lost last week. Are they going to be down? Or does this make them fight harder this week to knock down Georgia and kind of put their standings back up there again? Because everybody's been high on Georgia Tech this year. But I do think Georgia does get that win in that rivalry game. Then you got 3rd-ranked Texas A&M and 17th-ranked Texas coming up here. A couple of weeks ago, I said, is Texas for real? No, they were not. They got smacked in the face and just got destroyed. Texas A&M, dare I say this because I haven't said it all year, because Texas A&M always lets you down at some point in the season. And usually it's early in the season. Texas Tech is for real this year, folks. I'm sorry, Texas A&M is for real this year, folks. Texas A&M. Too many Texas teams out there. Texas A&M's for real. I have them winning this weekend over Texas, and so does Dale coming into this game as well. Then you got the Ole Miss Mississippi State game we're throwing on our game picks as well. I don't think Mississippi State can win this game just showing up and playing their football. The way that Mississippi State has a chance in this game is if this Lane Kiffin news affects this team and Mississippi, Ole Miss doesn't show up. I don't think that's going to happen. It's something to watch this weekend if you are looking at that type of a game. Me and Dale both have Ole Miss this weekend over Mississippi State. But you're going to want to pay attention to, in this rivalry game, in the Egg Bowl, which is the stupidest name of anything on the planet, you're going to want to watch this game at least early and see how Ole Miss reacts coming out. Ole Miss should win this game in their sleep, to be honest with you. But you guys know when some question marks come in there, they know what the college football playoff did last night. They know they knocked him down a level because of Lane Kiffin. They know that if Lane Kiffin leaves this team, that they could be knocked out and have to go on the road in the first round of the playoffs. The disservice to these kids. Do they show up? Do they go and destroy Mississippi State to send the message that we deserve to be here in this playoff coming up, regardless of our head coach? So I'm interested on that game as well. So far, we've had all the games the same. Also on Friday, of course, is Arizona and Arizona State. We already declared who we were picking yesterday in this game. Dale really loves Noah Fifita, which I do too. I think Noah Fifita is, I'm actually upset, Arizona fans, that Noah Fifita had the season he had with Brennan last year. I'm not going to lie to you. I kind of hold it against Brennan to this day on what he did to that team after Jed Fish and everybody coming back last year. That was all coaching with T-Mac, Fifita, and they looked like straight garbage last year. They wasted talented players last year, and they got it back a little bit this year, helped by a little bit by the schedule, but they're 8-3, on who they played, right? Not who they played, but when they played them. Not a big gauntlet that they had to go through. And they're really, really confident group now coming into this game this weekend. I do think Kenny Dillingham and his coaching staff will outcoach Brett Brennan this weekend on the sidelines in terms of that. Now it's going to come down to be frank with you, this is coming down to, can the ASU defense stop the Arizona offense from large points and large chunk plays in this game? Explosives, as they call it now. I do believe Arizona State's defense can do that if you give them the right play calls. And you don't go into a prevent defense and let them go drive down the field like ASU does late in games for some reason. I also think, because this game's coming down to the offenses is what I'm getting at. If Noah Fifita and this offense of Arizona can put up a lot of points, let's say 30 points, something to that effect, this is going to be a tough game for ASU to win. But on ASU's side, ASU needs Jeff Sims and this offense to put up points and move the ball up and down the field and keep it out of Arizona's hands. The offense is going to be the differences in this game. Which offense can do what they do? Are you going to see Arizona? If Arizona State comes out like they did against Colorado and forward turnover that, you're going to be down big, and I don't know if you can come back. You got to come out fighting right off the bat. So that atmosphere is going to be nuts in there. Both fan bases battling it out in the stands as well. Loudmouths, right? Everybody yelling at each other and making their digs and all that stuff. I got to remember my headphones tomorrow. Or on Saturday, or on Friday, whenever the game is. Friday at 7 p.m. This is going to be a fun game. 2 8-3 teams. It means a lot for both schools. One, Arizona's already outperformed their season. They have nothing to lose coming into this game. Arizona State, they're hanging on to a successful season and a disappointing successful season. It's a big game. The loser of this game, if Arizona loses this game, nobody's going to look at Arizona and say, oh, your season sucked. You guys are terrible. They still had an improved season over what expectations. Arizona State loses this game, you might see that narrative right out there. Oh, just this team's terrible. They just didn't have it this year. Coaching staff, blah, 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 right? Expectations on both these teams coming in. Usually I like the freer team coming in. Look, I no way in heck I'm picking Arizona to win this. They have just as good a shot as anybody. They're favored in this game, as we talked about with Lou, 1.5. But in all seriousness, they have this is a formidable foe this weekend, and nobody saw it earlier this year coming this way. I've got Arizona State this weekend. Dale's going Arizona this weekend. He really likes that Arizona offense, and he wants to win that bet with Bruce Cooper for the steak dinner coming up for those two battling it out as well. Then on Saturday, you've got number 1, Ohio State at 18th ranked Michigan. To me, Michigan's going to struggle in this game. Now, it's a rivalry game, so it might be closer than you think. But I think Ohio State's rolling. Nobody's talking about Ohio State right now. Nobody. Who's talking about them? People are just like, they're number 1, they're fine, whatever. Until they get to Iowa, Indiana next week. Now, does Ohio State kind of overlook's not the right word? Do they kind of look ahead a little bit, right? And they're not focusing on Michigan? Michigan can bite them. Ryan Day struggles against Michigan. On paper, Ohio State should run away with this game over 18th ranked Michigan. I'm not too sure they're going to do it. I think this might be a closer game, right, as they're dealing with that stuff. I do have Ohio State winning the game ultimately, and so does Dale coming into this game as well. Both of us have Ohio State. I wouldn't mind seeing a little chaos here, right, if Michigan can stick their head up and win this game, and then going into the Big Ten title game next week as well with Indiana from that side. But we both have Ohio State. And then, interesting enough, 14th ranked Vandy plays 20th ranked Tennessee at Tennessee. I've been on Vandy's bandwagon all year. I've been burned by him in my picks a couple of times. And Dale comes over and joins me over here. We both have Vandy beating Tennessee this weekend as well for Vanderbilt getting their win on that side. Yes. In terms of the NFL, we'll get to the picks here in just a second as well as we're wrapping up here. A little bit of overtime on this Wednesday, last show of the week here. No McCollum on business today. No more shows after this as well. No, by the way, no The Real Matrix today either. On hiatus this week with the holiday. We'll return next Wednesday as well. Catch The Real Matrix on Robat TV. You'll see the channel on there, the YouTube channel, and there is a free podcast for that as well. The Real Matrix is what you search on your favorite podcast systems. Comes up. 9 episodes have been out. Get back there and check out those old episodes and stuff to that effect as well. For those of you that want to see the Angry Patriot, and as he tells you a little bit about what's happens out there in the world and what's hidden and what's not out there. And it's an interesting show for you if that's your programming. Check that out also. The 2026 NFL Hall of Fame numbers or finalists are out there, if I can learn the words I'm trying to say as well. Officially, Drew Brees has moved on. No shocker there. Larry Fitzgerald has moved on. No shocker there. Frank Gore moves on, which I don't know if that's not a shocker in me. To me, Frank Gore was a great running back, played longevity. I don't think he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but I think he's a guy who should be considered, in my opinion. They're first-year eligibles that do move on to the semifinal round of voting for the class of 2026. So 26 people right now on the list. Of course, Larry Fitzgerald is still there as well. It's going to get cut down to 15 finalists coming up. And I'll put it this way. I don't know if Larry Fitzgerald will get voted in on the first ballot. I think he should. But he better be in the finalist list. Otherwise, there's a disservice out there in the voting rails here of the NFL circle, right? So on that. Now, it's a weird weekend for the NFL, but you got games Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I'm sorry, Thursday, Friday, Sunday for the NFL. College, you actually have a game tonight. Game Friday night. A bunch of games on Friday, I should say. A bunch of games on Saturday. So long football weekend for everybody out there as well. Thursday night's games, we talked about it with Lou earlier. And I told you guys, Packers-Lions, I'm torn on this game. I have no idea who to pick. I think the Lions, I think I'd favor the Lions at home. I think this is a pick 'em, and the line shows it's a pick 'em as well. The Lions offense, I love their offensive style. I love their running game on that side. I'm not sold on the Packers offense. Lou gave that stat earlier about they're the fifth ranked offense or eighth ranked offense, I think is what he said. But he said I was floored by that. Packers offense to me isn't very great out there. They're good, but they're not great. But their defense is stellar here coming up. So what's going to come down on this breakdown on this? I tell you what, Dale has the Lions in this game. I lean toward the Lions here. This is a division battle, and whoever wins this game gets to keep pace with the Bears. The other one falls farther behind. I want to pull the trigger on the Packers here. But look, short week going on Thanksgiving morning. I'm going to go Lions here on this game as well with Dale on that. Then you got Cowboys-Chiefs after that. Talked about that with Lou earlier as well. If you missed it, it'll be posted separately in the interview section on the YouTube page. Free podcast as well. Dale has the Cowboys going into this game. Cowboys 3 games in 10 days. Emotional win last week. Chiefs had an emotional win last week also against the Colts. Chiefs have been in this position before, and they are used to for games where their back's against the wall, right? Super Bowls, etc. On this, Dale has the Cowboys winning this game. I'm going Chiefs here on Thursday here in this game. This is going to be a close, fun game with a lot of points put up probably in this game as well. Then you got Ravens, Bengals. I don't care if Joe Burrow. I don't care what all-time great quarterback comes back and plays for the Bengals this weekend. When you're coming off and you haven't played for a long time, you're going to struggle. Ravens are getting better as the season goes on. They're taking over that division now. They caught the Steelers. They're going to continue to take it on. Both me and Dale have the Ravens this weekend. And I'm not sold on the Ravens offense right now either. I think on this perspective, the Bengals defense is going to be a liability, as it always is. But I also think Joe Burrow is going to do some stuff and make that offense probably look a little good. I just think it's not going to be enough in the first week back there for Joe Burrow. So we both have the Ravens in that game. In terms of the Friday game, Dale's gone with the Eagles. I don't care what you say. The Bears are coming in confident. The Eagles blew a 21-point lead to Dallas in Dallas last Sunday. Their running game isn't that great. They're struggling on the running side. You heard from Lou that weather's coming in. It's going to be windy as all heck in this game. I'm going to go with the confident team here and not the Eagles, not the non-confident team who blew a 21-point lead last week. I'm going Bears in this game. Dale's got Eagles in this game as well coming up here on a Friday. And then you got the Sunday games as well. Bills at Steelers. I have no confidence in the Steelers. I don't care if Aaron Rodgers comes back or not. Steelers are not winning this division. The Ravens have already caught them. They're going to surpass them and keep going forward and stuff to that effect. Steelers will look better with Aaron Rodgers than they looked last week. There's no doubt about it. But there's the Bills. There's something wrong with the Bills, and it's obvious that there's something wrong with them. And they have pressure on them to win right now as well. They need to start winning instead of faltering around 7-4 on the season. We both have the Bills here this weekend against the Steelers coming up as well. Then you got the Cardinals Buccaneers. Is Baker Mayfield going to play? He will play if he has a choice to play because Baker Mayfield's a trooper. It's on his non-throwing arm. An AC joint is one of the painful injuries that a quarterback can have, or anybody can have, to be honest with you. But it's in his non-throwing side. The only way I think Baker Mayfield does not play this weekend is if the team decides, let's get him back, let's let him rest for a week. We can beat the Cardinals ourselves without Baker Mayfield. Teddy Bridgewater can get us there. And let's have Baker. The problem with that thought process is, though, the Buccaneers need to start winning. They're not playing well. They're off some games lately. And their schedule doesn't necessarily get a ton easier as the season goes on here. They pretty much need to win this game. You know, it's not a must-win, but if you're looking at it, they need to win this game. Cardinals on the other end travel across the country. Early start for them. How are they going to blow it this week? That's quite frankly as quickly as you can look at it. Is the offense going to take the lead in the game in the fourth quarter, and then the defense promptly let the Buccaneers drive down the field and score with no pressure like they did against Jacksonville? Are we going to see that? Are we going to see a blowout where the offense can't do anything? Which way are they losing this week? Buccaneers. Both me and Dale have Buccaneers winning the game this weekend as well. Coming up. Robert chimed in at TME Sports Show and said, do hope Vandy beats Tennessee and Pavia falls flat on his mug. Probably can't have both. No. Pavia, the quarterback there for Vanderbilt, that team wins because of him. If he falls flat on his face, Vandy has no chance to win that game. So, unfortunately, you can't have both, unfortunately. I don't disagree with you. I like his spunk. I like that, but I like it because he's on Vanderbilt. If he was on Ohio State, if he was on Notre Dame, I would hate the guts of this kid. I would hate his guts the way Johnny Manziel type of an attitude, if you don't know. I would hate him if he was on Texas A&M. The fact he's on Vanderbilt and single-handedly is not the right term. But getting the guys to perform, winning games there at Vanderbilt, I love the story because of who he's doing it for. And I think it's great that he's doing it from that side. But I get why a lot of people don't like him out there, to be honest with you. It doesn't surprise me at all what people deal with from there. So I don't think you can have both because if he struggles, Vandy ain't winning a game against that. I just think Tennessee's going to falter again this year. They're just up and down, up and down, up and down, and up and down. Really quick here, get you set up for the weekend. Phoenix Suns as well. They have the Kings at Sacramento tonight, 8 p.m. For them here. Then over the weekend, Friday, they're at Oklahoma City Thunder. This is that hard back-to-back. If you're a Suns fan, this is going to be a tough weekend if you're a Suns fan. Just prepare yourself now. At Kings tonight. Friday, they're at the Thunder. Friday, 7:30 p.m. And then the Nuggets are here on Saturday for a back-to-back. It's going to be a tough weekend, folks, if you're a Suns fan. Just prep yourself now for Friday and Saturday. But it's going to be interesting to see how the Suns stack up, one, against the best team in the NBA, the Oklahoma City Thunder. Now, keep in mind, Mark Williams isn't going to play one of these games, but also, more importantly in my eyes, because losing to the Thunder there's nothing wrong with losing to the Thunder, because everybody's doing it. How do they match up against the Nuggets with Jokic is more of what I want to pay attention to. If I was the Suns, I'd sit Mark Williams on that back-to-back against the Thunder, and I'd play him against the Nuggets. Get your whole team that's available to you, right? What's up with Grayson Allen, etc. Let your whole team play against the Nuggets. Let's see how you match up against the Nuggets is more what I'm interested in. Because I just don't think the Suns are going to match up against the Thunder. Nobody matches up against the Thunder. But that's your weekend there of NBA basketball as well. Just don't get your hopes up, Suns fans, on what's coming. They're doing fantastic. They're outperforming, but that's a tough back-to-back coming the Suns' way as well as I hit the wrong button there. Coming up this weekend. So, hey, folks, we've been here long enough today, right? I went into some overtime to talk about it and everything. And one, appreciate everybody that pays attention to this show and watches it, both on YouTube TV, the free podcast systems, Robat TV Live, even on demand here at Robat TV. We can't thank you guys enough for that. For Dale, I know he's super appreciative of it as well, and everything. Everybody that pays attention to the programming that we do here as well, right? The Real Matrix, the main event here, obviously, McCollum on Business, my passion project out there that I do just to have a little fun and do that one for me, and some of you come along with that. Thank you very much. Even the Pit Stop out there, we appreciate everything you guys do. Go out there, have a great weekend. If you're going to make the 2A championship game on Saturday, definitely hit me up on the socials. Love to see you out there and everything. Otherwise, well, for me, go ASU. Dale would say go Arizona. Go Fafita is what he would say. Busy weekend. We'll have a lot to talk about coming up here on Monday. Everybody be safe. Enjoy your families. Don't talk politics and stuff. You can do it without one day with your cranky Aunt Jean, right? Whatever her beliefs are out there. That sounded targeted and personal, did it? I don't have an Aunt Jean, just so you know. Everybody have a great weekend. You need anything, hit me up. Hit me up text line. Hit me up on the socials as well. We'll see y'all on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody.